he was on signal, this guy, Alex, purposeful, on signal. It's all coordinated to get in their faces, Piers, and disrupt a legal federal duty. I don't do that. You know why, Piers? I'm not dumb.
There's an hypocrisy on the conservative right, which is that I've always been told right to bear arms, Second Amendment, no one can interfere with that. Yet when this guy does it, suddenly this is wrong. I don't remember that being the way the Kyle Rittenhouse debate was framed, right? I didn't see people on the conservative right then saying that. They said the opposite.
Obama. And you know why, Piers? You're across the pond and you're seeing it because you're watching CNN, you're watching MSNBC, and that's their agenda. Plain and simple.
Actually, Vinny,
useful idiots.
Vinny, I watch a lot of Fox News and I watch a lot of the PBD. I watch a lot of PBD with a guy called the Angry Patriot. So you have no idea what I'm consuming here. By the way, since I broke my hip, I have nothing else to do.
Look, you know those moments when someone walks into a debate so well, so charged up, that they completely forget how to make a coherent argument? That is exactly, it is the only way to describe what happened when Vinny Oshana sat down with Piers Morgan to talk about the Alice Pretty shooting and the new immigration enforcement under the administration. Oshana showed up in a tie, his version of signaling seriousness, I guess. And almost immediately he's bragging about the 9 he's carrying, flashing photos of victims like he's in the middle of a courtroom, and just bouncing from topic to topic without ever answering the actual question in front of him. Meanwhile, Piers, love him or hate him, he just keeps calmly returning to the same point again and again. Was the shooting of Alice Pretty justified? Watching Oshana twist himself into knots trying to avoid that answer, it's genuinely fascinating. You really need to watch this entire exchange before I break down exactly how Piers backs him into a corner. Trust me, the meltdown builds. Well, it builds perfectly. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from today. Do you think Oshana actually made any valid points here? Or was this just, peak cable TV chaos? And if you want the full breakdown of how this debate exposes everything that's broken in politics right now, stick around. I've got thoughts. Oh, and hit that like button and subscribe if you're ready to watch someone completely unravel on live television.
Like all of these things, none of this is easy. It's complex. A lot of Americans believe that what Trump's done on the border is good, closing it down after the very porous border that we saw under Biden, with millions coming in illegally. That doesn't suit anyone's interests. A lot of people believe that if you're in America already undocumented illegally and you commit another crime, you should be deported. That seems to be general consensus. The flashpoint is about people who may have built their lives in America but came in illegally, who may have been there a number of years, contributed to society, brought up kids and so on. And secondary to that flashpoint is ICE going around urban cities and raiding people's homes, raiding people's workplaces, and getting into now what seems to be constant running battles with protesters, which are leading to people being shot dead. And, I can tell you, looking at this from afar in the UK, where I am at the moment, it's pretty horrifying. What is happening here?
I think you've used the perfect word, and welcome back, Piers. It's really good to see you in good health. This idea of horror and it being horrifying, I think, is right and exact. The government is essentially waging war not just on people who are deemed to be unlawfully here, which is an entirely different conversation that we can have because it's far more complex than just saying Americans don't want them here. I don't think that's true, and I don't think that that's the full story, even if it were. But you're seeing citizens being waged war upon. We're watching protesters being deemed enemy of the states. We're watching unlawful raids at homes and in workplaces. We are seeing an assault on the Constitution. And one of the things that will be seen in court very soon is whether this has been such a judicial or such an overreach that it constitutes a violation of the 10th Amendment right of Minnesota's right to state sovereignty. We'll find that out. But regardless, this is not the solution. This is not the way to solve whatever problem we imagine, because what we're seeing is protesters being demonized, people being criminalized, and innocent people being executed in the streets. This is a horror.
Vinny Oshana, great to see you. I've never seen you looking so smart which may suggest you're viewing this with a new gravity. So, first of all, what's the tie all about? I've never seen one uncensored with a tie.
I just felt, Piers, I had to step up my game. You're always professional, so I want to be professional. And I want to A, thank you, Piers, for always having me on. And number two, that you're healthy and you're a strong man. You'll be back. Piers, I want to say one thing to you. Do you know what I don't? By the way, everything that Mark said is factually false. Unlawful this, unlawful that, Constitution this. Give me a second, Piers. Do you know what I do, Piers? I carry a 9mm Hellcat Springfield gun. It's on me right now, okay? I protect myself. I protect people that are around me. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force shooting team. I'm that guy, Piers. You want to know what I don't do? I don't take this gun and go to federal agents' ICE events, which, and by the way, Piers, the gun that he had, little fun fact, is a Sig Sauer P320. All right, that gun, there's a bunch of lawsuits for Sig Sauer. That gun goes off just unintentionally. The firing pin goes off.
Right, but
so,
the thing about, yeah,
from what
Vinny,
I saw,
Vinny, on that point, Vinny, I've seen that report about that gun. We don't know that it discharged itself. There's no evidence that it did at the moment. What we do know from that video.
But Piers.
Well, hang on, Vinny, hang on.
Piers,
but hang on.
Go ahead.
Here's my point. My point before you finish. My point about this is, the guy, I've had the complete opposite argument about these situations going back 20 years in America, which is that, I agree with you. I don't think people should be armed to the teeth all the time going to do any things like this, right? And yet this is the very argument used back at me, which is that actually, yes, he had a perfect legal right to carry that weapon and to carry his ammunition. At no stage in any of the videos have I seen him, has he been brandishing that weapon or trying to shoot anybody or pulling that weapon or anything like that. In fact, the opposite, what we see is a pack of 8 ICE officers descend on him, and one of them very clearly reach down and take this guy's weapon out of his holster on his waist and take it away, and he is then shot with the first shot a second after that when they know he's unarmed. So every part of this fails, but so does the logic. I have to say, to me, there's an hypocrisy on the conservative right, which is that I've always been told right to bear arms, Second Amendment, no one can interfere with that. Yet when this guy does it, suddenly this is wrong. I don't remember that being the way the Kyle Rittenhouse debate was framed, right? I didn't see people on the conservative right then saying that. They said the opposite.
That's right.
Piers, I'm not, hold on. You're talking about a military veteran pro-Second Amendment. I'm not saying any of that. But if you're going to go there and disrupt and get into a fight, because Piers, all of you are watching this slowed down, nice video. It's happening in seconds in real time. And my point about the gun is, Piers, my opinion, when they disarmed him, he doesn't know the gun is gone. It goes off. He's still reaching for the magazines, which he thinks are a gun. But Piers, here's the point. Why is this all happening in Minnesota? Can we stop? In Texas, there's 10 times more illegal deportations. You don't hear none of this, Piers. None of this. You know why it's in Minnesota, Piers? Because Tim Walz, Mayor Fry, Ilhan Omar are pushing for people to get in their faces and do this type of stuff. Under Obama, you didn't hear any of it, okay? And he deported way more people than Trump. He's kicking Trump's butt in deportation. But I want to know something too, Piers. It's funny how all these leftists, all these Democrats, like last week when it was that 5-year-old kid, oh my God, he was detained. No, his illegal father ran away and abandoned him, all right? Nobody here even knows that freaking kid's name. The mother didn't want to take him. I'm just curious, everybody on the panel who's here. Does anybody know who this is? Mark, Lewis, anybody? This is Ivory Smith, 7 years old. She was in her mother's car, and a freaking drunk driver, illegal, hit her and killed her, okay? Do you know who this is? You guys want to talk about Alex being a nurse? This is Laken Riley. She was jogging in school, and guess what happened? A guy raped her, tried to rape her. She fought back for 11 minutes, and then he crushed her head. Why wasn't she on the news? Why didn't you hear about her? And lastly, you know who this is?
Put them all on the news. I think all of them should be on the news.
Curious.
Well, I think they were.
She was strangled. Wait.
But Vinny, they were on the news. They were on the news.
She was strangled.
They were on the news.
And her throat was slit, and she was raped by 2 illegals. All you guys care about
Yeah.
is headlines, Piers. You know why? Because Democrats are hemorrhaging votes. At the end of the day, this is all votes. Why else do you want illegals? You're fighting so bad to have them in here to count on the Census so that Democrats can keep power, Piers. Plain and simple.
You know the irony,
Stop all this
the irony,
nonsense
Vinny,
that you guys care.
Vinny,
Get outta
Vinny,
here.
the irony
Come on,
is
Piers.
the irony is that the irony is the polls at the moment suggest what's hemorrhaging votes is the activities of ICE, and in particular where it's leading to these deadly encounters. That is hemorrhaging support for the Trump administration, and we're only a few months away now from
Really?
the midterms.
He's the most popular.
I think.
Piers.
Well,
He's the most
you
popular.
don't think it
what
is?
do you mean? The poll came out last week. He's popular. It's, Henry Enton just came out with the poll that Democrats are having the horrible, horrible percentage, and it's been the lowest of support. Piers, this is all emotion, and what I'm telling you is all the same thing happened for Obama. And you know why, Piers? You're across the pond and you're seeing it because you're watching CNN, you're watching MSNBC, and that's their agenda. Plain and simple. Piers, it's
Vinny,
useful idiots.
Vinny, I watch a lot of
Yes, I'm
Fox
listening.
News, and I watch a lot of the PBD. I watch a lot of PBD with a guy called the Angry Patriot. So you have no idea
Very
what
good
I'm
taste.
consuming
You
here.
have
And by the
very
way,
good taste.
since I broke my hip, I have nothing else to do but watch you. So don't mischaracterize me. I do watch the others too because I like to watch what they're all saying. But I appear on Fox all the time, as you know. I don't take a side in this. I just want to.
Watching this whole exchange between Piers Morgan and Vinny Oshana, it's like a live demonstration of how serious conversations they collapse when one side refuses to engage, honestly. What could have been a real discussion about immigration, enforcement, the Constitution, and the loss of life. Instead, it turns into this chaotic spectacle that captures everything broken about modern debate. From the moment Oshana sits down, he's visibly wound tight. He shows up in a tie, trying to project authority, right? But what he actually brings is just a pile of rehearsed talking points and whataboutisms. And Piers, love him or hate him, he knows exactly how to let that unravel. He doesn't shout, he just keeps pressing the same simple question. Was the shooting of Alex Priddy justified? The framing of this matters. Alex Priddy was a 37-year-old ICU nurse, a guy who worked at the VA, who died during those Minneapolis protests last month. It's emotional, it's disturbing, and it demands precision. But Oshana, he seems more interested in winning a fight than understanding the gravity of it. His first move is pure defensiveness, dismissing everything Mark Lamont Hill says before the man can even finish a thought. Then comes the strange bravado. Oshana announces he's carrying a 9mm Hellcat on the show. I mean, it's not an argument. It's a flex. It's the verbal equivalent of puffing your chest out to look intimidating. And it gets even weirder when he tries to explain away Priddy's death by talking about the gun Priddy was legally carrying, suggesting it could have discharged accidentally. But Piers dismantles that with basic logic. Whatever the mechanics were, Priddy had already been disarmed by federal agents. The fatal shot came after the weapon was taken from him. At that point, the technical argument it collapses. And you can almost feel Oshana scrambling to regain his footing. Every time he loses ground, he changes the subject. When he can't justify the shooting, he pivots to Minnesota politics, blaming Tim Walz or Ilhan Omar for the protesters being there in the first place. Then he starts flashing photos of people killed by undocumented immigrants, almost like it's a grim quiz show. The implication is obvious. These deaths should outweigh concern for Alex Priddy. But this choice he's forcing, it's a lie. You can want border enforcement and still oppose an unarmed citizen being killed by law enforcement. Morgan highlights the hypocrisy perfectly. For years, the right has defended the Second Amendment at protests. Remember the Kyle Rittenhouse arguments? But when Alex Priddy carries a handgun with a valid permit, suddenly it's provocative. Oshana has no answer for that, so he asks why this happened in Minnesota and not Texas, as if geography somehow excuses lethal force. It's a distraction wrapped in confidence, hoping you won't notice the logical hole. In the end, Morgan doesn't win by yelling. He wins by staying anchored to those basic questions. Was it justified, Why do rights change depending on who's involved? The fact that Oshana can't answer without spiraling into a tangent tells you everything. The real tragedy here, besides the loss of life, is that honest conversation has become almost impossible. Everything is tribal. Everything is about scoring points. So, I want to hear from you. Did Vinny Oshana bring any clarity to this, or was he just making noise to cover up a bad argument? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you appreciate commentary that actually breaks down the substance without the gaslighting, smash that like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 5,000 subs, and I appreciate every single one of you. I'm Mike, and I'll see you in the next one.